Great to have you with us, Barry Simon. How you doing?
Doing great, Jimmy Deal. Thank you very much for having me today.
Oh, great. I'm so happy about you being on the show. Of course, tomorrow is the International Day of Peace, right? It's Peace Day, and there's a big concert happening. And, of course, you're involved with that. And, of course, you are a producer, director, right, screenwriter. Tell us about your involvement with this big concert tomorrow.
Concerts for Peace. We did the first one last year on International Day of Peace last year, and it's in conjunction with the UN's declared International Day of Peace. There'll be events from different UN association chapters and other organizations around the country. And here in Southern California, I'm honored to be globally streaming the Concert for Peace 2 from Harm to Harmony at 10 a.m. West Coast, 1 p.m. New York, and 7 p.m. plus or minus, depending on where you are in Europe or beyond.
Wow. And you produce and you direct the broadcast and the whole show. Tell us about putting the show together. I mean, I know there's a lot of performers, a lot of people from international places all over the world. Tell us about that.
Well, we put the word out to our contacts and different people, and the company doing our streaming, Kent Speakman at Connect TV, KNEKT.live is where people can go to watch it.
Right.
We thought about it. I had previously done a monthly concert, a monthly Conversations for Peace project, where I had traveled part of the world and interviewed people on what would be possible if they could all get along. And I evolved that. It seemed to be kind of timely, since we're living in a time when half the people can't seem to get along with the other half of the people.
Right.
So we thought, music as an international language, what better way to combine a conversation for peace with music? And so we put the word out and began collecting videos from around the world, and all kinds of music, from opera to rock and roll and everything in between. And we have quite a nice selection of tunes tomorrow. And we also recognize 3 nonprofits during the event. Our event is being delivered free, so anyone that tunes in can see it for free. However, we are inviting them to make contributions to 3 nonprofit organizations.
Oh, that's so awesome. And you got some of the biggest names in music, television, and film that are going to be part of the broadcast. Tell us about some of those people that are going to be involved. I know that probably a lot of people from out there in Los Angeles, where you are.
Well, there's a lot of great talent, and part of what the concert actually shows is how much talent there really is in the world that might be unrecognized names. Okay. Unrecognized talent. So we do have a couple of big names. The biggest name is the woman that is the lead singer from The Lion King.
Oh, okay, great.
Life, and she'll actually be the last performer, the last song in the concert. So people want to stay tuned for that. And then we have beautiful kids from Turkey, a choir from a school right there in New York, PS 22.
Oh, wow.
Performing, and they had a tune on the first concert, and they provided another tune on tomorrow's concert.
Yeah, I know you've been working on this for quite a while, right? Tell us how you first got started, and I know it's been a while. Tell us how many years you've been doing this already.
Well, it started, it evolved. Conversations for Peace and the Concerts for Peace evolved from a project called Barry Wayne's Venting Event. Mm-hmm. And instead of people venting and thinking that was like a scream and shout match, which it wasn't, but nonetheless, we thought that Conversations for Peace was less abrasive. So Conversations for Peace started about 7 years ago, actually with a trip to the Middle East and interviewing people from all walks of life. We interviewed the mayor of Haifa. We interviewed a Palestinian lawyer in the south of Israel, a Palestinian office administrator from an international personal growth and development company headquartered in with offices in Tel Aviv. We interviewed a rabbi in the West Bank, and we've since then interviewed two black women here in Los Angeles who'd lost their sons to a murder, one to an unknown murderer and one to a police officer. Mm-hmm. And how they brought peace to that horrible situation. So it started with the Barry Wayne's venting events, when I had tried some stand-up comedy a couple of times and realized I either wasn't funny or didn't want to be funny all the time. It annoyed me. And I thought, well, maybe I could create a project where people came together and expressed their views on issues of the day and left feeling better, even though nothing was necessarily resolved.
Right.
So venting events evolved into Conversations for Peace, which has now evolved into Concerts for Peace.
Yeah, I know music breaks down so many barriers, right?
Exactly. It
Yeah.
is the international language.
Yeah. I mean, of course, you have people from all over the world. And of course, you also worked in television as well and films, right? Tell us a little bit about your career in television and films.
Well, I did a few bits in a few movies years ago, a few commercials years ago. I had a small piece in The Grifters and in Pacific Heights.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of TV shows that have come and gone a long time ago. Did a commercial for Coors Light, which was great and a lot of fun. And then I realized that I also have a day job, and to be able to plan to go on casting calls where you really never knew if you were going to get beyond that or not, that part of my life faded and evolved into these other areas. I figured I'll create my own projects rather than wait to be cast.
Yeah, I mean, you've done so much. And of course, as you were talking about, it breaks down so many barriers with religions as well. People with all types of religions are involved in this concert, right? From Christians to Jews to Arabs, right?
Yes. Arabs, Muslims, Jews, Buddhists, agnostic. And the show doesn't focus so much on religion as it does how we're all the same.
Yes.
We all want food for our kids. We all want our kids to have better lives. Whether you're in Afghanistan or in Beirut or in Spokane, Washington, we all have blood in our veins and want to have a better life. And part of my goal, part of my purpose is if we can move the needle a little bit towards that better world, then we've accomplished something.
Exactly. And it can be seen pretty much all over the world, right? Through the internet and the outlet that you guys are on.
Yeah. Our streaming is through Connect TV. That's KNEKT.live to tune in to watch it live. And it's available after that at Connect.tv. So it will be globally streamed worldwide. Yes.
Awesome. And what would you like the viewers to take away from the concert?
Well, one thing to take away would be, how can they be in action? What can they do in their day-to-day life to bring a little bit more harmony in their own relationships with their spouse or with their kids, in their own community? How can they bring more peace, compassion, and understanding to their inner circle and to their outer circles as it goes beyond their community, their city, their state, the world? And, I'm very fortunate that the UN Association of the USA. I'm past president of the Southern California region of the UNA USA. Oh, wow. And so the project is in conjunction with UNA USA, as well as the Rotary International Action Group for Peace. And so we're very fortunate that those two organizations are supporting our project and make it more broadly accessible. It's not just some other project. It actually has some solid organizations working with us.
Right. And of course, as we were talking earlier, I'm from New York. And of course, you get to come out here to New York. You said like almost every year, right? In February, you were telling me.
Yes, we have an annual conference, a global leadership summit and a global engagement summit. One is in February at the UN. And in the General Assembly Hall, we usually have between 500 and 1,000 people, age range from 25 to 95, that attend that, with speakers from throughout the UN and the State Department and other agencies. Right. We support the UN Association, which is part of the UN Foundation, neither of which are funded by the UN, by the way.
Really?
They're both separate organizations. Wow. And but we support the work of the UN, and more importantly, the importance of a strong UN-US relationship.
Absolutely. And you get a little bit of a weather change when you come out here, right? Because of you are used to being in Los Angeles. You live in beautiful Santa Monica, which I love so much.
Yeah. I'm here in Santa Monica, roughing it. And And I really actually enjoy going to the UN every February. And some people say New York in February. I go, yeah, it gives me a taste of winter. And I love that. I'm from Oregon originally. And so it's here in Southern California, we have 2 seasons, nice and nicer.
Definitely get enough sunshine there for sure. Yeah. And you're also a stockbroker, you were telling me as well, right?
I am. I'm a stockbroker. I've been an investment consultant since the mid 80s. Initially with a company that's long gone called Dean Witter.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Which merged into Morgan Stanley. And I left Morgan Stanley in the late 90s and went independent, clearing through a regional firm here in Southern California called Wedbush Securities. Right. And so I've been very grateful to manage client portfolios. I'm not an active day trader type of broker. I mostly place money fairly conservatively and gives me an opportunity to do my side projects and still play golf most every Friday afternoon.
That's so awesome. Now, when you first started out, Barry, did you have any influences to get into this the business of producing and screenwriting and directing?
Just a good friend of mine in New York that manages some commercial directors indicated years ago to that I had what he caught was a good look for commercials. And so I began putting some pictures out and tried to do a few commercials. Mm-hmm. So I've always been a bit of a ham. I've never been opposed to being in front of a camera. And so I started doing that. And then I did my local cable TV shows. So it's always been a fun outlet for me and part of a passion. It's more of a passion for me to like this project, the conversations piece, the concerts for peace. It's really out of a commitment. When I was 25 years old, I was introduced to a statement that was the possibility of a world that could work for everyone with no one and no thing left behind. Mm. And that's been kind of my anchor, whether I was consulting with people on their investments or working with people in the Middle East on how they could all get along.
Yeah, absolutely. And I said, you touch so many people with this concert, which is amazing. And it brings peace to the world, which we need so much, especially now, with all the craziness that's going on in our world today. Yep. We need peace more than anything.
Yeah. And in that area, the three organizations that were inviting people to contribute to, the 3 nonprofits, mm-hmm. All blend into that area. One of them is called Promise to Live, which is they're all 501c3s. Mm-hmm. Promise to Live is a wonderful organization that's committed to reducing suicides.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so Promise to Live is that you actually make a promise to live, that if you ever found yourself so deep down to where you're suicidal, you have made a promise to live, to reach out to a trusted friend, family member, clergyman, therapist, whatever. Right. You have a promise to live. And that's the mission, is to reduce and eliminate suicide, especially among youth. Yeah. One of the other organizations is Roots and Shoots, which is the nonprofit arm of the Jane Goodall Foundation and the Jane Goodall Institute. Mm-hmm. In fact, our program on Saturday will precede a in-person event in Southern California that will include a visit from Jane Goodall as she celebrates her 90th birthday here in Southern California. And Roots and Shoots has an amazing curriculum to educate children and youth on global issues, to enhance their leadership skills, to train them in leadership skills, and focus on different issues that are facing the world and the people of the world, and give kids an opportunity to actually participate in solutions in those areas. And the third organization is called Greeburn, Greebirn. Okay. And their mission is to also educate youth and train and develop youth in leadership skills and like that. And by the way, Roots and Shoots is also very environmentally oriented, obviously being connected with the Jane Goodall programs.
Yeah, and tell us about Ken Speakman. I mean, of course, he's the producer and director of KNEKT.TV.
.tv, and it's .live to get straight to the broadcast.
Oh, awesome.
To be clear. Kent and I go back about 10 years. I used to host and produce a annual West Coast Global Forum on behalf of the UN Association here in Southern California.
Mhm.
And somehow or other, Kent and I connected about 10 years ago. He did all the video work for our in-person Global Forum events. And then the pandemic came along and pretty much put a halt to in-person events.
Right.
But Kent and I maintained a relationship. We worked together and decided to create Concerts for Peace. And he's actually from Canada, from Alberta, Canada,
Right.
Calgary. And our first Concert for Peace went so well that we decided to do one really quickly on Thanksgiving Eve last year, which was a Concert for Peace presenting the musical contribution of Indigenous communities.
Oh, wow.
Which is very left out. Indigenous communities all around the world are pretty
Absolutely.
much pushed off to the side.
Yes.
And so his mom is with the Indian College up in Calgary, and Kent and I flew to Edmonton, drove a couple hours north, and met with Chief Ojima, who's a relative of Chief Pontiac.
Oh,
And
wow.
it was a very interesting interview. I was able to engage in a drumming ceremony in the morning, and spend some time interviewing and really getting a sense of what it's like to be so separated in the culture, in the world, and to be really to have a taste of Indigenous music from his perspective.
Yeah.
And then the concert on Thanksgiving Eve included Indigenous music from around the world, from other Indigenous communities.
Wow.
And that was a pretty cool thing to do. And then we got to work on this year's concert.
Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, I saw a piece or a little bit of a clip of the Indian music, and it was such a great thing to watch and great music to listen to. In fact, so we're going to hear a little bit of that tomorrow as well, right?
Actually, that part of it, there's some other, I don't want to give too much away.
Okay, all right.
And other, there's some rock and roll. There's, as I said, a tune from Lion King. There's a beautiful song from India.
Oh, cool.
There's amazing, very moving piece from Ukraine. A woman named Anna does a very, very emotional piece. It's not so much the words are emotional, because actually we don't have subtitles. You don't need subtitles on this song. The message comes through in the sound of the music and the video, the visuals. So we have a piece from Ukraine. We have, as I mentioned, the other pieces from London, from the cast of from the
Lion King, right?
Lion King,
Yeah.
And just some great tunes.
Yeah, and you were telling me even the local school here in Brooklyn, right, or New York.
PS22.
22. Wow, so
Great
awesome.
song last year and a new song this year.
Wow, that's fantastic. I'm looking forward to seeing all that. And again, it's knekt.tv/live, right? I get it right.
Just to see it would be knekt.live is where people want to go.
Okay.
At 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. East Coast, 7 p.m. plus or minus in Europe and beyond.
Okay, knekt.live is where we can see it. Awesome. Yeah. And is it also available on Apple TV and Roku and all that as well, or?
I'm not sure. You can go to Roku and get the KNE, and you can get the app, the KNEKT app, and watch it through Roku. Yes.
Awesome. And so it starts 10 o'clock tomorrow morning Pacific time, right? 1 o'clock Eastern time.
Yes.
So awesome. We're so looking forward to the concert. And of course, it's brings so many great causes and brings peace to the world, which we need so much.
Yeah, we're in a very divided world, as we've said, and as it's like, duh, all you have to do is turn on any TV channel and get a sense of that, or just take a look at social media and see that there's pretty strong opinions on both sides.
Absolutely.
And the most important thing, I guess the most important message from our concerts, we don't get into political areas because we're both 501c3s, the Rotary and the UNA USA. We don't want to lose our tax sheltered, our tax advantage status.
Right.
We're not promoting any candidates, but I do encourage everyone to vote. And the most important thing is not only to vote for the possibility of a better world, but also bring an action to your own life. how can you, even if it's, cleaning, if you see some garbage on the street, to pick it up and put it in a proper receptacle. Every little thing can make a difference. Like, when you toss a pebble into the ocean,
right,
it's going to ripple. And I believe that all people at some level want to know that before they die, they've made some difference somehow, somewhere.
Exactly. Even like recycling. I mean, every little bit helps the planet and the world.
That's right. That's right.
So, yeah. So we're so looking forward to this. KNEKT.live is where we can see tomorrow. And of course, which is great. It's a weekend, it's Saturday. So a lot of people are home from work and they can tune in, which is awesome. And it's the International Day of Peace, which is great.
Yeah.
But anyway,
anybody that has any questions is welcome to email conversationsforpeace, FOR, conversationsforpeace@gmail.com. You might have a listener that wants to submit a video for next year's concert. They're welcome to do that. And certainly feedback, comments, suggestions are all welcome.
Now, how can people stay in touch with you, Barry? You on Facebook or social media?
I'm on Facebook as Barry Wayne or Barry Wayne Simon or Barry Simon. I'm also have a Conversations for Peace page on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram with Conversations for Peace, and my email, as I mentioned, conversationsforpeace@gmail.com. All the videos that I've done in the past regarding my Conversations for Peace project, including the videos that I did with people that I interviewed in the Middle East, those are all available on the website, conversationsforpeace.com.
Awesome. And what about the concert for peace? Does it have a website for itself on social media?
Concerts with an S, concertsforpeace.net. And at the present time, that'll direct you straight to the Conversations for Peace website.
Awesome. That's so great. And I hope everybody gets a chance to tune in tomorrow, please. KNEKT.live. And it's going to be a fantastic international concert, all types of music, all races, all religions. Everybody's involved. Everybody's going to make this world a better place than it already is.
Yeah, we have a friend and great musician with a group called Geist, Martin Nethercutt, that provided a couple songs. One is called One World, and the other one is about trees and how trees are so resilient, and it really relates to the resilience of a human being and how resilient we are. So as much as we might feel sometimes down and depressed about the state of the world, I'm always reminded that pendulum is always moving, and we can create in our actions a better environment, a better world for all of us.
Absolutely. And that's just what we need for sure. And thank you for doing this wonderful work that you do. Barry Simon, you're so great. And please continue to do what you do, because we need you.
Jimmy, what you're doing is great, and giving voice and giving expression and allowing me to be here today and the other people that you've presented in the past. You're a difference maker extraordinaire, and thank you for that.
Well, thank you, Barry Simon. I appreciate it so much. Please come back on the show. And next year, when you do it again, we'll promote it again. I will talk about it again. So awesome. And again, tell everybody one more time how they can see it live.
Go to knekt.live. That's connect.live. That'll get you right to the broadcast Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. New York, 7 p.m. plus or minus wherever else you are in the world.
So awesome. Well, thank you for coming on this show, man. I really appreciate it, Barry Simon, and I'll keep in touch. Hopefully when I come out there to Santa Monica, we'll get together.
Thank you very, very much. I hope I can get a copy of this, and it's been a great opportunity to be with you all today.
Absolutely. Just hang on one second. I'm just going to wrap up the show. Stay where you are, and I'll give you give me your email, and we'll send you a copy of the show. Awesome. But I want to thank everybody for listening tonight. Of course, Cindy, the producer's out there. So many great people out there. Also, Tom Payton, I know, is out there. Beryl in Virginia is watching. My mom out in Brooklyn is watching. So many people that listen to the show every week. Tommy and Marty in Gravesend. Thank you so much. Please, everybody, tune into this wonderful concert for peace tomorrow. The wonderful work of Barry Simon. It's going to be fantastic. We'll be back on not this coming Monday, but next Monday. Erin Murphy's going to be here. Tabitha from Bewitched. What a wonderful TV show. And she's got an organization that she's working with. And we'll talk all about that and what she's been up to. Of course, Erin Murphy, Tabitha from Bewitched will be here on Celebrity Spotlight. Again, thank you, Barry Simon. We wish you all the best with the concert. I know it's going to be fantastic, and we're so looking forward to it tomorrow. All right, everybody have a great night, and we will talk again in 2 weeks with Erin Murphy from Bewitched on Celebrity Spotlight. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night, a fantastic weekend. Thank you, Barry Simon.
Thank you.